Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you now.
How do I make a link? All right. Let people come on, and then we'll get started. Mhm. Are we starting to level off? Almost? Give it
Still going up a little. All right, looks about leveled off now.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is the weekly Midjourney office hours. As the name implies, we do them every week, Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Basically, what we do is talk about what we're doing, what we're thinking about, and take questions. So for those of you coming to the office hours lately, today's probably not the most exciting ones in terms of announcements because just a lot of people have been on vacation like last week or two. Not really any. It's kind of like a rant. Yeah, I don't know if you all know this. Like sometimes, like randomly, everybody's vacations align. So there's a lot of people on vacation, and so things have been a little slower as usual. We're still working on the same things, but oh yeah, because of Easter. Yeah, the Jesus thing. Yeah, yeah. Um, spring break, the Jesus thing, all of it together. People doing Easter eggs. Um, yeah, it's easy to forget about the holidays. For me, honestly, but that does happen. Um, yeah, so we are working on the same things. They've been a little delayed, so the main things that we're working on right now are. Uh, the main things we're working on right now are the website, getting the new social features in. So we're gonna get hopefully the guides and mods testing this week with the more social creation, and uh, and then I think it'll go pretty well, and that'll go out to the super users pretty fast. Um, someone's gonna have to remind me what Jesus has to do with the Easter eggs. Sorry, but um, so the social creation I think will be good. Uh, and then after that, yeah, I mean, hopefully, I think social things should roll out pretty fast. So I'm hoping like super users get a peek at it sometime next week. That'll be fun. We're not gonna have like too many social spaces in the beginning on the website. We're gonna have like a small number of social spaces with lots of people in it to kind of stress test things, and then eventually anybody will be able to make their own spaces, both private and public. So basically, in the beginning, we're gonna focus everyone together, kind of try to get the density, figure things out, make it easy to watch things, figure out how it breaks, and then we'll open it up more and more. Hoping it's really fun. We'll see. Um, cautiously optimistic. Um, we're gonna try to have. We're working hard on the personalization too. So that's been going a bit slower than I wanted, but I guess it's kind of like a complicated feature that touches a lot of people across a lot of time zones. And the rule of thumb for Midjourney is that if it involves like more than 4 time zones, it takes a 50% penalty on timing. We're just not great when features involve like 5 time zones, just because it's like you're having the handoff so much between them, all the people. It's tough. So we'll see how that gets moving. Going a little slow, but everybody likes it. I think it's going to get good. We've been testing it. Everyone seems happy. We're just kind of making it more scalable so that it'll work for everybody. Doing more testing, adding some more signals to it, so that way, like multiple things you do can help it learn. So trying to get all that working. It's going to be more I feel like it's going to end up being like 2 weeks, even though I'd like it to be 1 week. Just because we're going to keep. We're adding new features. We're trying to tune it more. Then we're going to do testing. So I'd like it to be 1 week. It's probably going to be 2 weeks, which is unfortunate, but it'll be great. It's going to really make the images much more diverse. So I'm excited about that. Let's see, what are the other major features? Those are probably the 2 biggest things that are kind of coming more imminently. Oh, one more thing is we're going to do a style random feature again. And so that got a little delayed, but it's moving. And then, so those are all things that are kind of imminent. Things that are less imminent, but that we're working on are, we're trying to do this algorithm thing that would help hands and bodies and text accuracy. It seems like it's going to work, but it's been really finicky. So we saw everybody rank those really high, so we want to see if we can do something. So preliminary tests look good, but it's been really finicky and taking longer than we want. So we're hoping that it looks like it. I want to say it's like 60% better, 80% better. It's like I want to say it's like 60% better. Like maybe no, it's more. It's like a better way to look is probably like there are like probably like 3x fewer bad hand images. I feel like so it's like you get like much. You're still gonna get bad hand images, but you'll get them less often. And then like similarly with the text accuracy, like you will still get inaccurate text, but less often. I think it'll feel like a pretty big improvement. Eating cantaloupe. Good cantaloupe. Let's see. What else? The next biggest features are gonna be. There's a small image. There was an image quality thing for like those sort of small pixel artifacts. That we're trying to see if we can fix. We don't know if it'll fix it, but if it does, you'll see like lots smaller, like fewer small artifacts on the images. I'm sure everybody's seen them, like sort of like weird looking little small things, basically in random places. We think we have a way to make it a lot better. Yeah, we have a small speed update that could make things like 25% faster and cheaper, but we've been kind of holding it because if we want to do the other 2 updates that involve the glitch, the pixel glitches or the better coherence, like that kind of conflicts with the speed up, so we have to kind of wait. We're gonna wait. We've been waiting. I don't know if that's been a good or bad idea, but you know, we've been doing that. Yeah, and so those are all interesting improvements that will come with V6, and then we're preparing something like a caption party where we're gonna ask people to caption random images on the internet to help teach our next version of our model, like the V7 model, about the connections between images and language. And so that'll be really interesting. We hope everybody will help with the captioning. If we get a lot of captions, we think it'll make a really, really big difference in the V7 image like prompt understanding. So that'll probably come next week. We might, if it works out well, we might do captioning as like an official Midjourney activity where people could do it for rewards in the future. But we're not really sure what the quality is going to be like, or how much people are going to do it. So we kind of want to do like a test thing first. It's just for improving things, and then maybe in the future we'll do like a reward program for it. Yeah. Um, yeah, we do have some updates for we do have some speed updates for V6, but we're probably going to wait for the other stuff too. Yeah, I mean, there's an argument to note reward captioning. Like anytime we do the rewards, it's definitely like fucks with the quality. So yeah, for the first time, we just want everyone to do captioning out of the kindness of their hearts, and we'll try to make that improve things. Um, um, mhm. We thought about actually having like a new class of user where they can kind of like where we kind of know that they're good like raters or captioners, and then we like give them hella rewards. So I'm trying to figure out like what we call that, but I think it could make sense to because we have people gaming the reward systems. It could make sense to have people sort of like qualify for the awards and then get more awards. So they've been debating about that. Worker bees. We call them bees. I like the bees. Like there's the hive and then there's the bees. That's an interesting idea. The overrater. That's a good one. Sherpa is interesting. um, okay. Dolphins. Oh, dolphins are nice. I kind of like dolphins. I mean, definitely, I'm a sucker for dolphins. I love dolphins. Anyway, um, cool. So, what else? Mostly doing some video stuff. I'm not so super happy with the video, but I think it'll be really better for V7. So I don't think we're gonna lose a V6 video model, but we'll do a V7 one. Um, we are also getting the hardware ready for the 3D data capture, and I'm pretty optimistic about um, once we start doing the 3D data capture, having a really good 3D model. Not really happy with any of the 3D stuff out there, but we've had some really good proof of concepts that seem to be data limited. So now that we're going to be unblocked in the data, I'm hoping that in the next few months we have something that's pretty damn good. So at this point, it's possible 3D comes before video because we have proof of concepts of 3D that looks good enough, and we don't really have proof of concepts of video that looks good enough. I'm not even really happy with the OpenAI video stuff at this point. And so the 3D, um, yeah, I'm not really happy with the Sora stuff. So like, I don't think we're gonna try to release something that's like that. I think it would have to be much better. Um, so the 3D, I think we have a good proof of concept for. It looks really good, but it just didn't have enough data. And so I think we'll be unblocked in that soon because we have the hardware. And so I'm definitely hoping the 3D will be really compelling and good soon. Yeah, hard to estimate exactly what that's going to be like. It's probably after V7. So, the next 3 or 4 months, maybe. I'm not sure. It's really hard to estimate exact timing, but like, you know, sooner rather than later. I'm optimistic. Um, what else? We're still figuring out exactly what the 3D will look like. I think it'll more look more like light fields than like meshes, but we could generate meshes too. We haven't really decided yet exactly what we look like, but in general, I want it to be high quality more than I want it to be exportable. Um, so, um, yeah, so we also released the leaderboard, which is really cool under the rate ideas area. Right now, we don't have a great way to add ideas automatically. So we kind of have to do it manually. So we're probably going to add ideas every week or two. So we'll probably try to add some more Monday or something. Ask people to do more ratings. Maybe Tuesday. I'm not sure exactly. I'm going down the list real quick. So people want us to improve the hands and figures. We have a thing that might make that a lot better. Uploading and manipulating your own images. It's something we could technically do. It's like relatively easy, but I think we're like a little bit not ready to do it from a moderation standpoint because we feel like it could be abused. And we have ideas on how to make the moderation better, but it's probably going to take us a few months. More accurate prompt understanding. I mean, I think that's going to get really good after we have the rating party and V7. Like, I hope like V7 should be like off the charts, good prompt understanding. Small faces, I think, could improve with the sort of small artifacts thing that we're working on. It might also improve with some of the hands and fingers stuff. So I think it can improve a little bit in V6. We're trying to make V7 way better. So we'll see how that looks. Letting people make not safe for work content? Probably not. Um, yeah. We thought about doing something for like our to let sort of like VIP people do more like professional like sort of VIP people do sort of more like artistic nudity stuff. But um yeah, it's just like a lot of work and I don't really care about it like personally. So it's hard for me to be like excited about like I'm gonna wake up every day and I'm gonna make it. We're gonna add the boob feature, you know, just really not really excited about it. I'm sorry, everyone. Um, I feel like I'm gonna be more motivated to do like nudity once it's like women who are pushing for nudity. Um, oh, did someone push? Yeah, somebody dropped the boob song in there. Um, yeah, I think like I mean that'd be an interesting thing. Like I feel like when more than half of all women want us to do nudity, it's like an interesting sign. But right now, I feel like the average person wanting it is like, uh, oh yeah, there's the boob song and the V. That's a great, yeah, good AI song. Um, yeah, I think the average person right now is like, yeah, it's sort of this like, yeah, is a dude. I'll just say it. Like the average person who wants nudity is a dude, and but so like if there's something, it's sort of like, yeah, I don't know, like the idea of saying we should do lots of nude women because dudes want us to, it doesn't quite feel right. So, yeah, I mean, we're gonna try to see if we can pull out the statistics for the actual people voting on things. And so at some point, I think we'll actually try to have like demographics in the voting system, so we can try to understand like, you know, is this something that people are wanting in Europe or in America? Is it something that like the men are wanting or the women are wanting? Is it something that the young people are wanting or the older people wanting? And that'll help us like look at those things more. But yeah, talk about making it hard for us to do moderation. I, to be honest, I mean, even if people said it was gonna like double the size of the business, I would say I don't care. So it's very hard to. I think the strongest argument in favor of nudity stuff is basically, um, yeah, that like human bodies aren't evil and we should like try to destigmatize and like do you think like things like that? So like I get that and like the art and sort of progressing the sort of like state of the art of sort of artistic nudity is kind of interesting. Like there was this like nude mermaid that was like super high quality and looked kind of like obviously like she didn't have like clamshells over like what I mean like it and I was sort of like this seems like more good than bad. But yeah, mostly it's not that kind of stuff. Like mostly like uh mostly when people want it, it seems porny, and I don't really want us to be a porn community. And then like the line between tasteful and not tasteful nudity is like hard to, do in a way I think that would make people happy. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Probably not, probably not happening. Um, so, but it's good to see like where that ranks. Multiple consistent characters in an image. I think we could do that. We're definitely not doing it in V6. I think we'll try to do it in V7. Um, improving arms and legs, that'll be with the fingers. Improving character reference. We know how to improve the character reference performance, but part of it is like related to V6 issues. So we'll definitely improve it for V7, but I don't think we're going to try to improve it for V6. Multiple subjects will be much better in V7. Oh, held objects like swords, guns, etc. will also be improved by in V6 with the coherence, with the sort of better hands. Moving a camera around inside a generated scene to me is kind of the same thing as what 3D is. So I think that's coming. Consistent scenes across images. I think we know how to do it. I don't think we're going to do it for V6, but I think for V7. Improved coherence that goes along with the hands. Text generation along with the hands. So yeah, a lot of these things like the coherence, like weapons, hands, arms, text are all kind of similar issues. And I think we're going to improve all those. We're going to try to improve all those for V6. They'll definitely be improved for V7, but we're hoping V6 gets a lot better there too. We really would like to make the upscaler better. That's fairly highly ranked, but it's been hard, weirdly. I mean, it's like easy to build the ones like that everybody else builds, where they kind of over hallucinate. But we were trying to make something that's sort of generally good, not something that requires a ton of knobs. Or and so I think we have ideas on how to make it better, but I don't know if we'll see them in V6. V7 is definitely being built for better upscaling and resolution stuff. Um, transparent background images. Yeah, we could definitely do it. I don't think we're gonna do it right now, but it's kind of something for us to keep an eye on as we sort of do these other things. Reduce visual artifacts. That's something we're working on. Um, texture quality probably also go along with the visual artifacts. We're probably not going to work on Vary region until after V7. Sketch to image stuff is sort of similar. Um, yeah, so I'm just kind of going down the list for everybody. I think we're going to move more towards V7, which is what people are asking for after these sort of next few features. And V7 will also have like a lot of these things that are much better. Hopefully much better aesthetics too. So that's kind of going down the list a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way down the list, do all 140, but that's some of them. We are yeah, so those are some cool things we're working on. I think that's starting to be about it. Thinking. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Should be a lot of like small improvements on the website. Like there's that we put news on there and like reporting bugs on there. Um, so if we do updates, you should see them. But there will be, yeah, I think right now people are focusing on the social stuff, unfortunately. I wish we could work on more things on the website simultaneously, but it feels like on the website we don't really have the ability to uh, can do like lots of radically different huge features simultaneously. So I think we're working well. We're moving up on the social stuff right now, and then after that, we'll work on other things. I think we are going to start testing letting some people in without Discord accounts. I guess that's the other major thing. So probably what we're going to do soon is we're going to drop the limit for the website from like 1,000 images generated to 100, and then we're going to take a wait list, and then we're going to let the wait list people in without Discord accounts and let them try things too. So that's sort of the opening of the website, which is a big deal. Over the next few weeks. I don't know when we're actually going to like have it fully open. I think it'll depend on how the testing goes. But we should, I'm like fairly optimistic. Well, yeah, I think that's about it right now. So let's do some lightning round. So if you have any questions, put your questions in the VC text, and I'll just go through a bunch of things. We're not working on any audio right now. I don't really want to work on audio, but I could imagine one day where we do some sound effect thing. Um, I would do the ratings, every time we say we update them. So I think we have sort of like stabilized rankings right now, and then we're gonna update the items hopefully in a week. And then we'll let everybody know when we update the items. We'll say, hey, everyone, can you sort the new items? Um, there is already a describe on the website. It's just really hard to find. Um, I don't think the old describe will be. We're gonna try to keep improving describe into like newer interfaces, but I don't think we're gonna try to keep the old stuff on there. Journey right now is a bit better with cartoons, but I think V7 will be a lot better. Storytelling team is working on a lot of cool stuff, but hopefully that's sort of up to them when they want to talk about or show things. Um, the watermarking doesn't work very well. We're thinking of doing something else, which is kind of interesting, but sort of stay tuned. Um, V7 training progress bar, that'd be fun. Yeah, I guess the Stable Diffusion CEO left. I don't really know if I want to comment too much on those things, but it's pretty normal for venture-backed companies to have ups and downs. When things are hard, the first thing you do is fire the CEO, I would say is how it usually works at a venture-backed company. So, like, yeah, it's a good one of the nice reasons why we don't have investors is like one of the nice things about not having investors is that we can be kind of stable and not super sensitive to ups and downs. We can just push through it. But it is hard being a venture-backed company. There tends to be more turmoil and more instability. To be honest, that's kind of the whole idea is venture capital is you're saying like this is going to be a giant company in like 2 years. And if it doesn't happen, they try to, get you out. And it's hard to do a long game with venture capital. It's somebody said it's like rocket fuel, like you can get somewhere with or without rocket fuel, but when you sort of set rocket fuel on fire, there's pros and cons. So yeah. I don't think we really want to make something that's quite like Sora because Sora is really slow. Like they don't talk about it, but there was a paper that said that it basically takes 10 minutes for every 1 minute of footage. So like the idea of waiting for 10 minutes would suck. Um, yeah. Or that's like 1 minute for every second of footage. So like that's just not fun. You don't want it to be really slow. And then text to video is kind of bad because you can't really preview it. And so you probably want like a very different interface, first off. And you wouldn't really want to spend that much money anyway if you kind of proportionally made it more expensive with the compute time. So it's kind of too slow and too expensive in that form. And then on top of that, people don't talk about it, but like with all the video generators, like most of the videos are just not good or useful. And I think that's, somewhat true with images too, but on the image side, you can make a ton of images really fast and you can just throw them away. Whereas on the video side, if it's taking 10 minutes of video and then you throw out 90% of them, you're talking about spending like, 6 days to get like a 1 minute clip, which, just feels just like kind of shitty to me. I don't think any regular person would want to use that. So I think we want to make something that's like much better, like more coherent as a product and technology. Then on top of that, yeah. Um, obviously like aesthetics and it's a little wonky and stuff like that. So I think I just want something that kind of looks like consistently good, even if it was more limited. Um, yeah, when you have the non-Discord accounts, you'll be able to link your Midjourney account to like your Google or probably like Google, Twitter, Apple. I'm not sure what account, something like that. Um, we will remove items from the feedback list when the items are done. The leaderboard will change over time. We're kind of honestly still thinking about like the right way to make it into kind of a thing that is, evolving. Right now we're just looking at the data a lot. Um, we have some, we don't actually, we haven't released any control net stuff. Yeah, V6 doesn't do control net very easily, but V7 should do that stuff more easily. Um, in general, I think we want to avoid spending like a year implementing features for every new model because the next model is always so much better that nobody cares about the features anymore. So we're still at the point where like the fundamental model quality matters more than the features, but we don't necessarily have enough resources to do everything. So I think V7 is more important. Um, it can't really do image style character weights with multiple. I guess you could. I don't know. I'm trying to avoid like an extremely complicated image prompting system, but at some point we may have to have like a new user interface for it. I'm not sure what it would look like. Um, we don't have business development teams. Usually, like a business development person is just for like, it's like, how about like my business person, like my biz dev person will waste the time of your biz dev person and nothing will happen. It's not worth it. Yeah, it would be cool to make images off of sound. I don't know when we're going to do it, but I'd love to do some audio visualization one day. Um, we're not open sourcing anything for our models for a while, I think, just because the space is like weirdly ruthless and competitive against us. And so like if the space wants to kill us, we're not going to be kind and like help them with anything. Um, yeah. The we have improved the abuse on the ranking. I think SREF is always meant to require a prompt. We don't know exactly what the plans are for Discord ads. Um, we don't need investors. Um, I'm scrolling down looking for more questions. Yeah, you could generate tiny videos and then upscale them. I think we'd rather go from images to video rather than from text to video. I don't think we have any plans of being acquired. That doesn't sound fun. The website will become more social. We don't think we're going to have comments. I don't know when we'll do followers. We may or may not do that. We're kind of debating. Um, Um, looking for questions. Are the things you want to invest in? There are a lot of projects we want to sort of kick up, like new research labs. So we're doing this collective intelligence thing. We're doing like a structure, like the psychometric, like trying to understand like the minds of people. We're gonna try to do, we have like a storytelling team. We're gonna have a hardware team. I'm gonna try to do like a biomedical imaging thing at some point too, just because I think none of the other AI labs seem to care about medicine, and I think there's some good short-term stuff that's possible. Um, Actually, no, that's not true. Facebook actually did some good MRI stuff, and DeepMind has done some good protein stuff. What else? Object reference? Yeah, I think it'll happen at some point. I'm not sure the exact timeline of the magazine. I think they're supposed to come out every month. V6 is really complicated at this point, and so we're trying to make V7 both better and simpler so that it's easier to add features to. Yeah, when there's a 3D Midjourney, we could definitely show some stuff in VR, but I don't know exactly. It's possible that like the first 3D version of Midjourney will immediately work in VR, and it's possible that it won't. I don't really know. But we could make a Midjourney VR interface pretty easily because our team has a lot of the like early pioneers of VR on it, so we can whip stuff up pretty fast. Um, if we do 3D, it's also stereoscopic. We're definitely going to have more user education on the website, but we're still kind of working on it. We don't do sponsorships right now. We just don't have the people to do stuff. We are thinking of doing like a grant program one day of some kind as a way to sort of do experiments on the collective intelligence side, but not currently doing that yet. Just preparing. Um, I would not recommend using the Midjourney legacy site. It will likely not work at some point. Um, don't Google your company, please. Google started searching your company and spreading out killed their company. No innovation for 10 years. So that's actually not what happened. So Google actually, the real problem from in Silicon Valley that pretty much the story that everybody hears out here is like Google went from 2,000 people to 10,000 people in 1 year, and then that's when things got really dark. Like that was the hard transition. And so the rule of thumb isn't like don't do more than one thing. The rule of thumb is don't 5x the size of the company in 1 year. Growing really fast is really damaging to culture. Yeah, so I think that's sort of the big thing that was hard at Google is like if you increase if you make if uh if like 4 out of 5 people suddenly weren't there the previous year, you kind of have like this chaotic thing that changes it. So we're definitely not going to 5x the size of the company, but working on more than one thing isn't necessarily bad if you have more people who were working on different things. The collective intelligence stuff is like the thing where we're ranking with the features. It's like one thing there's sort of two sides of it. One's sort of problem solving, and the other one is resource allocation. And so the voting right now is about resource allocation. And so you can kind of see we're trying to figure out how to allocate our resources. We've been thinking about doing a grant program at some point too, as an extension of that. Um, we do hire designers on our team, but we would prefer designers that can also code, because we don't have enough people to code designs. Um, I think better lighting control would be cool. VR is probably not the next big thing because Meta or Apple are in it. I think that there is like massive premature consolidation, and like VR probably would have been a really big thing 8 years ago if the giant tech companies didn't like kind of squash out a lot of the ecosystem by sort of, yeah, probably like anti-competitive things. But yeah, the VR field, VR and air field was quite healthy until they got kind of absorbed by the big tech companies. I'm like very against that happening. I think it really hurt. Like most of the things that I'm seeing released at this point in VR headsets are things that I saw prototypes of nearly 10 years ago in China. And so at this point, like the feels like the VR industry has basically just become like stripping whatever China was able to prototype 10 years ago. It's pretty bad. And usually doing a bad job at it. Like the yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm like very upset about the AR and VR space still. I obviously like the displays are getting higher resolution. That's great. The displays on the Apple headset are nice. Displays on the new Meta headset are nice. But like, yeah, like 90% of cameras in the VR space are like cameras that Leap Motion, my previous company made for like an HP keyboard like 10 years ago. So it's kind of crazy that like we made like a sensor for for hand tracking for a keyboard product, which wasn't really a coherent product in like 6 months, and then that like sensor is literally what like 90% of headsets use nowadays, as if they can't make anything better. I don't know. Like, yeah, the space is bad. It's fucked up. We'll probably have to make our own thing one day. It's very I'm like I don't want to make any things in AR VR, but we'll probably have to do it one day. And I'm like still very upset about how the space turned out. I try not to go into too much of a rant about it. Um, yeah, I mean there are a lot of good stuff at Google. I think also Google used to be more like engineering led, and now it's become more product led. But the product, they I think they but the engineering leader like led thing was sort of like one of the core tenets of culture, and I think they're still trying to figure that out too. Um, let's see, trying to find questions. The V6 beta, I'm not sure. We probably could call it V6 beta now, but I just haven't done it yet. Yeah, it's a good question. VR would be way better now, like 100x, I feel like. The VR space was like completely, in my opinion, the VR space was kind of wiped out. Yeah, it should be like 100x better. It's, yeah. I haven't talked to Ilya in a while. Hope he's doing okay. I don't think me and John Carmack would argue. I think me and John Carmack pretty much agree on everything. We agree on like 90% of I think me and John Carmack agree a lot. I think there was a lot of belief that like giant companies would do VR better, and I think people have learned the lesson on that. Um, trying to find questions. So hard to find questions. Is Ilya in the basement? I don't know where Ilya is. I think he's just vibing, probably just taking a break. How many large businesses use Midjourney? We don't know. We don't really track that, but maybe it would be good to track it at some point. We could make an orb. We're still debating about an orb. We could definitely build an orb quicker than we could build a headset. I think we'll have to kind of wait until we have the 3D Midjourney, and then we'll just try a lot of things and try to get a feel for it. To be fair, like there were diversity filters on the Google image generator, but so they were also on the DALL-E generator too. I think I asked it for King Arthur once, and it gave me like, three different ethnicities of King Arthur, and then one of them was a horse, which was really weird. So a lot of the companies were doing this. I wouldn't say Google was like worse than OpenAI in this regard. Um, yeah. Like I think people were overly hard on Google. It'd be cool to do a podcast with John Carmack. It'd be like 12 hours long because we both talked for too long. Um, the orb would be very expensive. I don't think we're making I don't think you can make a cheap orb. John Carmack calling out prompts. I don't think so. I don't actually think John Carmack I think he might have aphantasia or something. Like he doesn't see um images in his mind as well, I think. So I feel like it'd be interesting. I wonder if like prompt, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if that actually makes it if it matters. He doesn't seem like he's not very visual. Like it's weird. He does graphics, but yeah. I mean, we have people with aphantasia on our team too. Um, I think Grimes has like a lot of visual things in her head already that she's been wanting to get out, and so it's possible. Yeah, feels different. They are very different people. Um, a cube. I mean, a cube would be kind of cool. Yeah. Compute could be an issue for video, but we're getting more and more compute now, so hopefully we're not I think we'll be good on compute. Right, we're starting to peter off on the questions. I could make a brain scanner, yeah, that'd be cool. I would like to do some brain interface stuff. I've been trying to kind of start a team for it, but the type of brain thing I want to make is really weird. Um, I think we want to avoid doing like a lot of marketing. We don't have enough compute, I think, to radically grow the size of Midjourney, and just making the website already will make it bigger. So I think we don't, yeah, I mean, I'm really good at marketing if I want to be. Like Leap Motion, my previous company, was arguably too good at marketing and it hurt us. So I'd rather be a little understated right now. Um, yeah, we're definitely not optimizing for growth. I think we're kind of in it for the long haul. Um, like, yeah, a ton of marketing has pros and cons. I think we'll do more marketing at some point, but I think when we do it, it has to be very tasteful and thoughtful. Can't just be like, you know. Um, I don't know if Midjourney is used in a health business. I mean, I think it's kind of used everywhere. We've definitely thought about more image composition tools. Um, Partnership with OpenAI. I mean, we are looking at partnering with all the labs pretty much. I think OpenAI doesn't do partnerships as much as other people do, but you know, if they wanted to work with us, we would be open to it. I think they might be kind of like a little competitive and not super into working with other people, so it may be that might be hard. Even though I've like known everybody there for a long time. Like in theory, yeah, I think it's like a structurally challenging for them or culturally, but I do think yeah, I wouldn't object. Um yeah, I think one day I'll be able to make images with your brain. I mean, partnerships could be different things. Like there could be an integration. Like I think there's a universe where like Midjourney could be integrated into Twitter in a way that seems similar to Discord. Like Midjourney's not really integrated into Discord, but there's sort of like a Discord like Midjourney thing that kind of feels good. I think there could be something similar on Twitter. I think it has to be like carefully done, but I think it's possible. Um, the thing that's appealing to me about Twitter is how you could have like big groups of people brainstorming together. That's kind of cool. Whereas it's like hard to do that on Discord beyond groups of five. We're on our website, we're going to try to do things like that too that work with big groups of people. So I'm really hoping we see some cool things from big groups. Um, um, cool. Let's try to do some voice questions for a bit. I think we're done with text questions now.
Hello.
Hello.
You sound way quieter all of a sudden. Also, apologies if